TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Talked a little bit about Mr. Fuji, and of course, he's infamous for being one of the all-time biggest ribbers. You ever get ribbed by Mr. Fuji?
I can't tell you all of the things. Maybe in my book.
All right.
Rob and Doug, you guys are going to co-author anyway, so
Sounds good to me.
Maybe we can tell some of those stories.
Have you eaten any barbecue?
Pardon?
Eaten any Fuji barbecue?
Oh, have I eaten any Fuji barbecue? No,
Okay.
no. But obviously, somebody has.
Yeah.
I think the best story on Fuji. Fuji was a Hawaiian. We had a guy in by the name of Killer Khan, who was a Korean. Fuji did not like him. He managed him, but he didn't like him. And his deal was kind of like the Great Muda, where he would spew this green stuff out of his mouth. So during the 2-minute and 54-second stand-up interviews that we do for these individual markets, Killer Khan would have to put this green mouthwash in his mouth, and Fuji would screw with him all the way through the interview. He was sticking Copenhagen in there. He'd take him over the head, bang him right over the head. See how tough this man is? Boy, son, he can hit him. I can hit him in the shins, too, and he'd hit him with the cane in the shins. And finally, what happened, I guess, one time, it's down in Washington. He hit him so hard that he swallowed both the Copenhagen and the solution, and we had to bust the interview, but we kept it because it was that good. And I mean, it was absolutely hilarious. You would have been down on your knees.
How memories of working with Ray Stevens and Harley Race?
Well, I never worked with the two of them together. I really did not. Actually, I just missed Harley in the AWA. Harley was a Kansas City guy, and he was a tag team partner with Larry the Axe Hennig, or at that time, Pretty Boy Larry Hennig. And that was just right before he was in the late 60s. And then he went back to Kansas City and the NWA as part of the ownership group down there. Harley also had a piece of St. Louis. Ray Stevens. Ray Stevens, well, boys, Ray Stevens is another story. There's a guy that I absolutely enjoyed. Ray Stevens said he found out that he liked me when we went pheasant hunting, and I had a brand new Cadillac, and I drove it down a cornfield. He says, "You're something. That's incredible." He says, "You might want to get yourself a pickup for hunting. These Cadillacs aren't too good." But I so admired Ray Stevens and his talent. God, he was great on the mic too. Golfer, Ray was not a golfer. A couple of those guys were not golfers. Ray Stevens and Pat Patterson, though, I thought were one of the premier tag teams of all time. And, we've lost Ray. Ray is gone, but he certainly made his mark. I don't think he saved a nickel. Unlike Pat Patterson, who's probably saved all of his nickels.
Right. Memories of Larry Hennig.
Well, I was very close with the Axe. I liked Larry. He was a resident of the Twin Cities, so occasionally, socially during the week, we'd run out. We went to one little gin mill. It was a saloon where they had dancing and smoky bar. You know how it goes. I expected Richard Gere to walk through the front door. Not really. But Larry was a big man. He had to weigh 300 pounds at least, if not more. And there was a little guy that came over to him and kept tapping him in the chest, doing this. And he says, "You wrestlers, you're all tough guys, right?" Larry had on cowboy boots because he wasn't that tall, maybe about 6'1" or 6'2". You put the 2-inch cowboy boots on, and all of a sudden, he's 6'4" or 5". But this guy kept bothering him. He says, "Don't screw with me." Didn't say it that nicely. "Don't screw with me, or you're going to be out of here."
All right.
And the guy came back after a couple of more cocktails and started working him over again. Larry just lifted up his leg and went right on the top of the arch of his foot. The guy went down and he says, "Better get somebody here. I think this man is sick. He just fell down here. I think he's throwing up. You better get him out of here." So he handled things in his own way.
All right. Memories of working with Nick Bockwinkel.
Oh, I love Nick. Nick was one of a kind, second-generation wrestler. Born and raised in St. Louis, spent a lot of time in Southern California. Nick was a good technical wrestler. He did a lot of high flying things, but he could also do the Steve Regal and Billy Robinson kind of moves. I liked him a lot, and as it turns out, here's a guy that made his mark in professional wrestling, had his little slot, and made a living at it, and a good living.
TitleMatchNetwork.com